It's a beautiful day today and we're reading some more Am I the A-Hole? It's going to be a fun episode and I hope you guys are excited. And I also hope you're having a good day today. And let's get into it. Enjoy, guys. Am I the a-hole for telling all of my friends and family why my vacation home is off limits now, unless they rent it? I rent out my house through a service that includes insurance when it's in use. The insurance does not cover when I lend my house out to friends and family, since they're not paying. I have regular homeowners insurance for that. My brother was using my house with his family just after New Year's. It's a slow time and I wasn't going to lose out on much income. My nephew stayed up late one night and didn't go out for breakfast with his family, so he decided to make himself some food. He started a kitchen fire and he freaked out and called 911 instead of using the fire extinguisher in the kitchen. He's 14, so I can't blame him too much. The smoke damage will cost about $8,700 to fix. I told my brother he could take his time paying me back. He said he wasn't going to pay for an innocent mistake. I needed the house in order, so I just fixed everything. I didn't go through insurance since I didn't want my rates to go up. I was obviously upset, so I posted about the fire and how pissed I was at my brother. Pretty much all of my friends and family took the side of the innocent angel. They said it was unfair for me to expect that much money from him when he could have rented a hotel for a quarter of the price, so I agreed. I said that from now on my house will be off limits unless they rented it out or I was there and they came as my guests. Since I only use the house with my family, that means they can rent it all or use the only empty bedroom. It has a twin bed and a crib. Now the howling started that I'm being unfair to them for something that wasn't their fault. I offered to take up a collection from them to cover the repairs or the increased insurance premiums, and most of them shut up. I directed them all to my brother. He got quite angry at me for blaming him for the situation. I said I wasn't about to send a mob after my nephew. I bought the house after I got a settlement from a worksite accident. I used the income to supplement the difference in what I used to earn at my job and what I do now. So I guess my question is, am I the a-hole for telling everybody who has a problem with me charging rent or stuffing a family into a room meant for two small children to talk to my brother about it? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. And like this comment says, not the a-hole. If the kid can't be blamed for starting a fire, then the dad has to be blamed for leaving the kid unsupervised, because obviously he isn't ready to handle emergencies. The family's angry because their free ride is over. Tell them that you can't afford the risk involved in giving away rental time for free. Yeah, and they're not taking responsibility for it, and that's not your fault, OP. Imagine if they went and stayed somewhere and they did that, and they were like, no, I'm not responsible, it was an accident. Of course you're responsible. And yeah, I feel like it's completely fair that you said that they have to rent it out in the future, and you're not just gonna let them stay there for free anymore. Yeah, not the a-hole, OP. Am I the a-hole for moving out instead of sharing a living space, which is causing a problem for my mum and her boyfriend? My dad passed away when I, female 16, was like 3. We lived in a house that my grandparents owned and they agreed to let my mum and I live there rent-free. Over the years, whenever my mum dated, I tried to spend the nights that she had guests over at my grandparents' house. When I was 10, my grandfather renovated the basement to make me my own kind of apartment. I have my own bathroom, kitchen and living room to go with my bedroom. My mum met a guy last year and it got serious. He moved in with his 2 kids, which is fine by me. My mum deserves to be happy and have somebody in her life. There are 3 bedrooms upstairs, so it's perfect. One for them and one for each of his kids. Everything was going according to plan until the kids asked where I was staying. I said I lived in the basement. They made a joke about me living in my mum's basement. I invited them down to play Mario Kart to be sociable and to show off that I'm being completely honest. I have a couch my uncle gave me and my dad's old lazy boy in the living room. The recliner is only for me and all my friends know that. The kids started complaining that it wasn't fair that I got all of this room to myself. One tried sitting in my chair even after I told her that it was only for me. I settled that immediately. It's mine. After a few races where I demolished them, I said it was time for them to go back upstairs. They said no. I called my mum to come get them. Over the course of the next week, my mum started hinting that maybe my living room should be a common area. I said no. She started insisting. I said no. She has a key to my door. I never locked my door unless she had guests. I did start locking it when Dan and his kids moved in. I came home from school and I found the kids in my living room. They had also gone into my room and they were eating my snacks that I pay for myself. I yelled and I told them to get the hell out. I called for my mum to explain why they were there. She said that she decided that it wasn't fair that I got almost a third of the house to myself and that my TV and gaming system should be shared. I said F that. She got really upset with me and said it was a done deal, so deal with it. My grandfather and my uncles came and got me and all the things that matter to me, including my recliner. He told my mum that she needed to start paying rent if I wasn't going to be living there. I have a bedroom at my grandparents' house, but I miss my area. My mum is trying to get me back so they can save money to get their own place. Yeah, right. I'm not that dumb. She said that I need to stop being a brat and behave like an adult. I said I was living like an adult until you let those kids into my area without permission. She tried to say that she could do whatever she wanted in her house. Sometimes I think she forgets it wasn't my dad's house and she didn't inherit it. I feel a little guilty about this because my mum is actually pretty cool and I hate that this is causing a strain on her relationship. Am I the a-hole? Edit, after talking to my grandparents, I do have something to add. They were not happy about her moving her boyfriend and his kids in. They were going to allow it since I lived there still. Them coming into my space and my mum saying that I had to share it did not go well with them. That's why they wanted to charge her rent, especially after I moved out. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. It's not your mum's house. It's your grandparents' house. It's not your mum's decision. And like OP said at the end there, the grandparents are going to start charging her rent. Like, yeah, it's not her house. The top comment says, not the a-hole, I'm glad you're standing firm, because your mother has absolutely no right to your living area or your things or your snacks, etc. They were provided to you from your grandparents, not from her. Unfortunately, some people can't be reasoned with, and you found out. You're probably going to find yourself going low contact when you're an adult. That's okay. You can love her from a distance and not become the person who supplies the deficits in her life. She's an adult. She should pay her own way, not steal from her daughter. The next one is called, am I the a-hole for announcing to my brother-in-law and his friends that my partner and I are going to have the horizontal mumbo? My partner and I bought a lovely house that's great for hosting get-togethers. Most of the time we invite friends and families, mainly friends now. Earlier this week, my brother-in-law asked if we could host a get-together at our place since a friend is visiting the state and he wanted to give his friend a house tour. Just a disclaimer, I really dislike having my brother-in-law over because he doesn't respect boundaries. We ask guests not to go into our bedroom and my office, but he goes in both because quote unquote he was looking for our cats or he wanted to check the place out. This man is 11 years older than us. My partner and I barely had time for each other due to our busy work schedules, and this weekend we were looking forward to us time. My partner said he didn't really want people over, and I said the same. My partner texted back, we can't, sorry, we're busy this weekend. Brother-in-law kept on pushing and calling and asking why we couldn't make time, and he claims it's only going to be a few hours, and this friend rarely visits the state that we live in. My partner just kept replying that we're busy. He keeps asking what we're doing and why we're busy. Yeah, I can already tell you're not the a-hole, OP. That's so frustrating. Saturday evening, we're relaxing and playing video games in the living room. Brother-in-law calls my partner, says that they're outside dropping by really quick. Oh, get the hell out of here. How bloody annoying can you be? My partner says that we're busy. Brother-in-law argues, seeing us from the window, that we're just playing video games. More arguing. My partner hangs up and aggressive knocking follows. We go and open the door and there are 7 other people with him. They had alcohol and snacks. Oh my god, this brother-in-law is a nightmare. You're gonna end up putting a bloody restraining order on them. This is so aggravating. This is a common issue between brother-in-law and us. What do you mean? They've done this more than once? No way. I'm fed up with this, and I kind of just asked what they're doing here and that we can't hang out tonight because we had plans to relax. Went on a tangent about our busy weeks while they stood out in the cold. I ended the conversation with, we plan to have the horizontal mumbo tonight and we don't want people around while we're at it. We already told him that we're busy. He wants details. Here, we're having horizontal mumbo all night. Good night, stay warm. Well, brother-in-law talked to father-in-law. Now I'm getting calls and text on how crude and rude I am. Oh, get out of here. And how I have no decency. My partner doesn't care how I handled it and understands I'm sick and tired of brother-in-law. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole, but I feel like your brother-in-law still isn't gonna get the message. They sound like an infuriating sort of person. Like, is this a funny movie or something? And OP said they were sick and tired of this, as in like they do stuff like this a lot. If it was me and it was my house, I wouldn't even want him in my house after the first time, let alone they do stuff like this a lot. Oh, take a hint. Of course you're not the a-hole, OP. Like, that's so unbelievably disrespectful. How would you even want to associate with a person like this? And yeah, there's no excuse for acting like this. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to follow my sister-in-law's rules for her wedding and saying that her insecurities aren't my fault? My female 27, brother male 34, and his fiancée female 31 are getting married soon. My husband and I got our invitation, all fine. However, this is the problem I'm having with them. I'm not a bridesmaid or in the bridal party because I have a baby, and I was either pregnant or with a newborn during most of the wedding planning. It was for the best, so I'm just a regular guest as everybody else, right? Well, my brother and his fiancée came over a few days after they sent their invitation because they wanted to talk to me. My future sister-in-law basically told me that she's gotten a dress for me and she'll love me to wear it for the wedding. I was kind of like, okay, thanks, but why? You know? At first she didn't want to tell me why they've chosen a dress for me, but finally she told me that I tend to draw too much attention to me. Last year our other brother got married and my sister-in-law thinks that she doesn't want to risk having having me show up similarly to their wedding. By the way, I wasn't wearing an inappropriate dress or white or anything like that. It was a normal formal dress. I was super confused by this and I asked her what she meant because, as I said, I know how to dress up for a wedding. I reassured her that she shouldn't worry about being outshined because, for starters, it's her wedding day and everybody's going to be paying attention to the bride and the groom. And secondly, I won't wear an inappropriate dress like too much cleavage or something. Her family is rather conservative, so I thought maybe she was more scared of her family's reactions. We discussed this for a while and she told me that the problem is my weight. She's a little overweight and I'm not. I've always had problems gaining weight, even while pregnant, so she feels insecure and that's why she wants me to wear a dress that would cover me completely. This is where I think I might be the a-hole. I told her that her insecurities were not my problem and that it was weird to ask me to wear a certain dress just because I'm skinnier than her. She told me that she knew I'd have this reaction because supposedly I always want to be the focus of attention. She also said that my life has always been easier and it's not fair that I want to steal her wedding day as well. Oh no, that's an awful attitude. People who think that everybody else has an easier life than them, that's a bad attitude and I can do that to anybody ever. And yeah, that's not your fault, OP. I asked her if she was doing this with every other woman who was skinnier attending the wedding and she said no. So I told her that's a crappy move. We argued and then my husband and brother got in between us and they argued as well. And finally we kicked them out, but not before I told them to enjoy their damn day because I wasn't attending their wedding, for which they accused me of being a drama queen and wanting to embarrass them by not going. Wow, so you're a drama queen? Well, I'm more calm and this has caused quite a fight in our family as well. I admit that I was so tired and stressed that day because my baby had been sick all the prior day and night. So I don't know, do you think I exaggerated here? Or were they truly rude to ask me something like this? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. There's definitely some red flags here. Like their jealousy for one, and also this mindset where they think their life is a lot harder and saying that you've always had an easier life. Having an attitude like that can become a huge downward spiral. Like you should never make stuff like that a competition. But you see it a lot. People are like, oh, my life is harder than yours, so your problems don't matter. And because I have a hard life, that means that your life is immediately easy. Like that's not how that works, and let's not make it a competition, you know? But yeah, I feel like you saying that you're not going to go to the wedding was a good move. And no, I don't feel like you're the a-hole, OP. The top comment says not the a-hole, and I agree with your decision not to attend the wedding. Sister-in-law can give any explanation for why you're not there, but I would definitely answer honestly if anybody asked why you didn't attend. Yeah, for sure not the a-hole. Also, I can't even remember the last time that we read a post and it turned out to be an a-hole. Have you guys also noticed that? They're all not the a-hole. I suppose that's a good thing though. The next one is called Am I the a-hole for defending myself against my sister-in-law who was upset that we waited to tell her that we were expecting and also waited until our son was born to announce his name. My husband, 42 male, and I, 41 female, tried to have children for 13 years before we accepted that we were never going to have it happen for us. We spent a lot of time hoping and trying different things and nothing worked. I was 35 when we decided to come to terms with our life as a child-free couple. We sold our house, downsizing considerably, and we started changing how we lived our life. We devoted so much time to preparing to be a family with children that we didn't really know what we wanted now that it was no longer in the cards. Then just after my 40th birthday, I discovered I was pregnant. It was a huge shock, and what was even more surprising was the baby was healthy when I went for my first scan, but I was afraid. We both were, so we waited until I was 18 weeks to tell people. I didn't really show it until I was about 21 weeks, so that made it easy to hide. We announced and people were thrilled for us. All our siblings already had children who were 9 and older, so this was the first baby born into the family in a while. We got asked about names and whether we'd have a name reveal or a baby shower with a name reveal. We decided to keep the name to ourselves until he was born, something special and a surprise for people. Most people understood, but it came to our attention recently that one of my husband's sisters, sister-in-law, was not happy about any of this. I'm sorry, but who cares? Why should they be upset about that? She didn't like that we kept the pregnancy to ourselves for a while and disliked it even more that we didn't share the name. Wow, talk about making an issue out of nothing. She brought this up at Christmas for the first time and surprised the whole family. She brought it up to my husband on 3 separate occasions after it, and then she brought it up to me 4 days ago. She told me that we left our families out when this was just as big of a deal for them as it was for us. She said everybody had wanted us to have a baby too, and how could we cut them out like that? She also claimed that we could have gotten feedback and blessings from the family members on his name, which is Hawthorne for people who will ask. I told her that the news came as such a surprise, and we worried and we wanted to come to terms and get to what we felt was a safe point before telling people. She argued that we needed our family if something went wrong. Then she said there was still no excuse for the name, that the name was kind of odd, and she would have liked us to pick a more classic name. Oh my god. Oh, get out of here. Like James or George. I told her I understood that everybody had their own taste, but we were getting one chance chance to name a child and one chance to experience parenthood, and we wanted to make the most of it. You're being way too polite, OP. Your sister-in-law can take a hike. It is not up to them. And the audacity for them to get upset about this and to say that she would have liked a different name. Come on. I said we never did it to hurt anybody, but we wanted to do what felt right to us. She told me that was what my husband said and it was lame, especially to defend myself that way when it was something that the whole family are experiencing. She told me that we just wanted to leave everybody out and we should have known better. Am I the a-hole? The people in the post today have been so frustrating. Like the top comment says, not the a-hole. Your sister-in-law is a giant a-hole. While it is great for your family that you got pregnant, it is in no way happening to them. This is your experience, and after years of trying and eventually giving up to find out that you were actually pregnant, that would have been incredibly hard to come to terms with, especially to get to a place where you were comfortable enough to tell anyone. I only started announcing my first around 18 weeks because I was so worried something would go wrong, and I had no history of issues. Everything you did was completely understandable. Your sister-in-law is a control freak who seems to think that her opinion is the only right one. No decent person would ever comment negatively on someone's child's name. I absolutely love the name, by the way. Congratulations on your son. Yeah, control freak who seems to think that her opinion is the only right one. That's a really good way of putting it. But yeah, once again, not the a-hole. The next one is called, am I the a-hole for kicking my roommate out and tossing his stuff into the trash after finding out he messed with my food? I, 24 male, have shared an apartment with Andrew, 25 male, for a year. We found this place through some friends, and honestly, everything was pretty chill until this whole thing went down. My name is on the lease and Andrew would just Venmo me his half of the rent. We never had any formal contract between us. We were having dinner with some friends and we were drinking, chilling and having fun. One of our mutual friends made a joke about me being very tidy and Andrew being very chaotic in terms of our rooms and cleaning habits and stuff like that. Our friend asked us if that was a usual problem for us. So for some reason, Andrew decided to mention that whenever I'd get too annoying about cleaning the apartment or whatever, instead of fighting, he would go and spit in my food. Straight out spitting. We were all laughing it off, but then Andrew went to the kitchen and demonstrated how easy it was to just take out one of my prep meals for the week, open it and spit on it. He did it right there in front of us. We were still laughing, but in a what the hell is happening kind of way. After our friends left, Andrew tried to play it off, asking if I'm okay with what he admitted and apologized for it, but I could sense that he was dead serious. We ended up having a heated argument and I was furious. I told him he needed to find another place to stay and he stormed off to his room, slamming the door behind him. The next morning he heads off to the gym, and in the meantime he sends me this long apology text, but when I didn't respond right away, he loses his cool again, saying that he doesn't regret it, and even cracks this disgusting joke about messing with my food, suggesting that I avoid eating my ice cream because it's flavored now. Ew. Just the thought of it made my stomach turn, so I wasted no time. While he was out, I gathered up his belongings and I tossed them in the trash. Some of my friends think I went too far by throwing away his stuff, but honestly, it felt like my only option. I couldn't bear the idea of having him around after that. Honestly, I'm kind of embarrassed to tell the full story to most of my friends and family, especially my mutual friends. I just tell them we've had a fight. So I've been called an a-hole on more than one occasion. Plus, I'm not the best at getting jokes either. Am I the bad guy here? Them spitting in your food is not a joke, OP. That's not you not getting the joke. That's disgusting. And yeah, of course you're not the a-hole. OP said in the comments here, okay, after reading through all the comments, it's clear that I messed up. When I said only option, I meant that I didn't really want to keep talking to him, not even through texting. His ice cream joke was implying other fluids as well, which was too gross for me to handle or even respond to. Oh god, I didn't realize that. So at that moment, asking him to leave was the only way I could think of to end it and convey that he needed to find another place to stay without further discussion. I want to emphasize that Andrew did retrieve all of his belongings. I placed everything in the trash cans outside during the daytime, so his items weren't taken by the garbage truck. I don't believe he intends to take legal action because one of our mutual friends said that he told her that we weren't on bad terms. Looks like I owe him an apology then. Oh, I don't know. I don't feel like you should apologize still. That was revolting what they did. Yeah, no, I don't feel like you're the a-hole, OP, and I don't feel like you need to apologize. Yeah, like the comment under it says, I don't think you owe him an apology. Just leave it at no contact. Am I the a-hole for demanding my house guest to pay me for what she drank? I, 29 female, was asked by a friend, 27 female, that I went to university with if she could stay a few days at my place on her vacation. She came a couple of days ago and also brought her sister, 31 female, which was fine with me. Her sister declined going out for dinner with us and wanted to stay in. That was fine, and we left and we went out to eat. Well, turns out her sister is a recovering alcoholic and wasn't coping that well being in a different place. We come home a few hours later and I found out that she got drunk and raided my liquor cabinet cabinet for whatever she could find. She ended up drinking my very expensive gin, $300 that was given to me by my dad. It's not something I ever would have offered a guest. When she woke up the next morning, I told her that she needed to pay me for that. I didn't even open it. She started freaking out saying it was a mistake and that she couldn't afford the rest of her trip if that's what it really cost. I told her that she technically stole it from me and that she needed to pay me for it. My friend from uni says that her sister is struggling in recovery, but they really can't afford to compensate me without it ruining their trip. Yeah, that's not OP's fault. I asked them to leave and they were both very upset about it. While I do understand that it was a moment of weakness, I still think she needs to pay me for it. If she broke it by accident, that would be a different story. Am I the a-hole for wanting her to give me the money for it? Edit, thank you everyone for making me not seem like a monster. I requested the money and her sister sent me an e-transfer. We weren't super close, but we met up from time to time. It wasn't a friendship that I'm necessarily devastated over this happening. Yeah, for sure not the a-hole, and that's enough for today. It's a beautiful subreddit, but we need to read something wholesome. I left my dog with Grandpa for a week and I came back to this. Oh, that's so cute. The matching outfits. Yeah, that's really cute and really thoughtful too. It's weird how some people just come into our lives and immediately make our lives better and happier. Oh, that's so cute. And the moss that's spreading onto them is their love, I'm assuming. Also, this one is a Wah Wah Wee Wah comic. Somebody's just taken the watermark off again. I get nervous on dates. I'll come along. How? Oh, cute. Good wholesome memes today. We needed it after what we've read. Now it's our cone of shame. Adorable, but also kind of terrifying at the same time. How do you like having a cone on your head, human? So cute. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more Am I the A-hole episodes, make sure you like and subscribe. And the comment of the day today goes to Woman Roaring. I like longer videos. I listen to them while doing things around the house and at the gym and while working. Better than listening to TV. Oh, thank you for the support. That means so much to me. And yeah, definitely the longer videos are so much better. I'd like to make them even longer, but that's a little bit too hard. Instead of a compilation, I'd like to do like a super long episode one day, but I might have to work on that for a long time. But yeah, thank you for the support and I'm so glad you enjoyed the videos. And with that being said, make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!